Good morning, everybody. It's a late morning, a Thursday morning here in Westerly. We are live here in downtown Westerly, and my guest today is a fantastic member of our community, a business owner, a coach, a friend to all, and just a wonderful human being. Carlos Rios from Rios Barber Shop. How are you, man?
Good. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Now, I have to ask. There's been some debate over who is the best barber in town. And, contrary to popular belief, it's not necessarily about other barbershops. It's basically between you and me because
yes, that's right.
you may have been being you how long have you been a barber? 20 years?
27 years.
27 years?
Yeah,
I've been a barber for 36, man.
That's right.
Been a barber for 36.
young
Do I
indeed.
have any skills? No.
Right.
No.
That's very true.
But anyway, so how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me, by the way.
Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Huge fan of your work. I've been going to you for a couple months now, and people love the haircut.
Yes.
So it's it's funny. I think I said this the first time that you cut my hair. I was like, man, this is a barbershop experience.
Correct.
Like you just the skill that you
Right.
had, and the way that you move with a razor is insane.
Right. Thank you.
It's really incredible. And my my best friend's son went to Buddha recently.
Yes.
And is like, this is where I'm going from now on. So just huge
That's great
kudos to you and the entire team.
Right.
Because it is a team at Rios, and
Absolutely.
there's a whole bunch of people there.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about how you got started.
All right. That's so this wasn't my intentions. It was never my intentions to be a barber. I was actually in college. I was at the University of Rhode Island, my second year in school, and some things happened, and I decided to leave school. And I called my father, and I said, I'm gonna start barbering for now, and then see where I'm gonna go. If not, I'll go back to school. He wasn't fond of that decision. But anyway, I left school, and I actually opened the barbershop. I hadn't even got my apprentice license yet. So,
oh wow.
Yeah, I was good with my hands, but I really didn't know what I was doing, you know. But anyway, I opened up the barbershop. My dad had bought the barbershop from Lenny Malagrino in 1990. And my dad was working as a foreman over at Griswold Textiles in White Rock. So the barbershop was only open part-time. It was only open from 3 to 6, 3 days a week, 4 days a week. And so when I left school, I said, I'm going to open the barbershop up. And he said, okay, that's fine. And I got my apprentice license, but that was, a little bit after me opening the shop.
Right.
And so I opened the shop, and I said, well, I hope, I don't get anybody with long hair. So I can do short haircuts, but I can't do the long haircuts. So my first client was a gentleman with long hair. I'll never forget. And I totally butchered him.
Oh, geez.
Because I really didn't know what I was doing with long hair. He's still my client.
That's a happy ending.
Oh, yeah. He's still my client. He knew. We've talked about it. And, he was like, you didn't know what you were doing. And I was like, no, I didn't. But I appreciate that he stayed.
And he was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just go with short hair from now on.
Correct. So it was funny. This was never my intentions. I was majoring in physical therapy at URI. So this was never my intentions, was to be a barber. But everything happens for a reason, like they say, as cliche as that sounds.
Yep.
And I opened up in 96, and here we are, 2024, and still cutting.
Yeah.
Ironically, too, there's a funny part to that story. Lenny Malagrino is, if anybody knows who Lenny is, he was quite the character in town. And he had connections on both sides, whether it be politicians or it be the mob side. So I had my apprentice license, and I was probably 5 months into my apprentice license. and he called somebody up in Providence and said, "Listen, I got this guy. He doesn't need to be wait 2 years for his apprentice license to become a master barber. Is there any way we can get him in ahead of the time to get his license?" So I don't know who he talked to and what he did, but however, I got my master barber license like 6 months into being an apprentice.
Oh, wow.
And if you go online and you were to look at the licensing, you'll notice that my apprentice license and my master barber license, they run together, which that shouldn't be possible. It should be your apprentice license 2 years and then you get your master barber license.
Right.
But lo and behold, Lenny, knowing whoever he knew, I got my license right within 6 months. And like I said, here I am 27 years later, still cutting hair. Hopefully maybe another 10, 15. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. What do you have? Do you have an exit strategy?
I'd say my exit strategy will be, Nick Buddha
Yeah.
will eventually take over, and I'd like to cut back. I won't give it up completely because I love what I do.
Right.
I absolutely love my clients. Most of my clients have been with me that are, with me directly. Have been with me, most of them 10, 15 plus years. They've all been with me loyally.
That's dedication. And there's a reason that people keep coming back and back and back and back.
And so actually a friend of mine, Georgie, who's been my client for a long time, we all pooled our money in for Powerball. We didn't win, obviously. And I said, I'll never pick up a pair of clippers again if we win. And he said, "Carlos, you have to, because you're my barber and you're still cutting my hair no matter what." So, that made me realize something, and that I do have a lot of people that depend on me with, for haircuts, and I love what I do. So as long as my health is good and everything else is good, Nick will take over, and I might do, a few days a week, but part-time, and start to live life and enjoy life a little bit more.
Well, I like that. I like, not waiting until, 65 or 67 to do that stuff.
Well, it's ironic that you say that, because I 19, when I had opened the barbershop, and one of my clients was an old man, and he said, and I remember, I love my old guys from the 90s. They're so different than the old guys of today.
Yeah.
Those old guys were like my grandfathers. I had great relationships with those guys, and they would always give me, great stories and advice.
Yep.
And so one of them, he had said to me, and he was in pretty rough shape at this point, and he said, "Carlos," he goes, I'm going to give you a little advice. If you can do it now. Don't wait.
Yeah.
Because there'll be a point when you can do it financially, but physically you might not be able to do it.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
Right.
So if you can do something now, do it now.
Yep.
And so that's pretty much how I've lived since he's told me that. That's I still have saved money and my, pension and all that stuff, but it's true, because tomorrow is not guaranteed, as we all know. So
I love that advice.
Yeah. So with him saying that
really
to me,
solid advice.
Right. With him saying that, I that always stuck in my head. It absolutely did, and that's how I've been. So
yeah, we have some. If I can direct your attention to the television screen up there, Brent said, "Who's going to cut my hair?"
Like I said, I'll be here. I will be here until I'm no longer physically cutting hair. I will be cutting my clients until then.
Jay said, been going since Friendship Street, late 90s.
Oh, yes.
And Jay said the best.
Thank you. I appreciate that, guys.
So tell me a little bit about coaching, because you also, obviously we cover sports here,
yes.
and you've been part of Westerly High School football for a long time.
Yes.
Both on the field and off. So tell me a little bit about that.
All right. So I was back in 2015. My son had graduated, and I was offered to do chains for the asked if I wanted to do chains for the football games on Friday nights. And my son had graduated, and I really didn't have anything going on Friday nights. So I said, yeah, absolutely. Give back to the school. So I started doing chains in 15. And then this past year, Jordan Husero, who's one of the coaches for the high school team, he had been coming in the barbershop and kept asking me, to come join the coaching staff. And at first I said no because, running the business, I didn't know how
Yeah.
I would, figure it all out. And after talking with my guys at the shop, they said, do it, go for it. It's what you want to do. You love football, go for it. So I started coaching this past year. It was a fantastic experience. The kids are great. I've gained clients from that as well. I mean, it wasn't my intention, but that's nice that it happened that
Yeah,
way.
of course.
But I've been part of Wesley football since I was 8.
Yeah.
And it's been that way all the way through. So it's been a great opportunity that I was given, and now I told these guys, you're stuck with me. So I'm looking forward to this season. We got the guys in the weight room right now. We got a solid core of guys that are believing in the system, and we also got a group that goes down to Ben Carroll's gym down here in Westerly. A couple nights a week. They work really hard, and looking forward to next season. So,
what do you think about the? By the way, I took the headphones off so that people could see my awesome haircut by the
yes,
man himself. What would you say? Like, I think that the thing that we've noticed covering sports this year has been the camaraderie of the teams, right? Individually, and then the community. It feels like, and Westerly's always been a big sports town,
right,
but it feels like it's growing even more so. And Ronnie's doing a fantastic job
absolutely,
as the head coach of the football team, and Coach Luzzy is doing a fantastic job.
yes,
And Coach Luzzy and Coach Fazzaro, who is a friend of yours,
yes,
both freshman coaches, for first year coaches, head coaches
right,
for their sports. I should say, I should clarify, head coach,
yes,
first year head coach for their sports. And, just it feels like Pooch's Poorhouse has been doing a lot of community events.
yeah,
They had the softball team there last night. Um, the change of all of these sports bars and even not sports bars, right? Like even
right,
Coy has the 3-2-1 games
correct,
on their TVs, which is insane to me.
yes,
And like not some, and obviously the Thirsty Beaver is a sponsor. They do it all the time. Pooches has ingrained themselves with each of the teams. Cleats, we were my business partner was doing a trivia night there, and everybody there was talking about the game and watching the game on their phones.
right,
Like the camaraderie of the students, we see it on all the games. The student athletes from other sports are there to support them.
right.
Like, what's your thoughts on just the community aspect of everything right now?
So, we have a fantastic community. We're pretty lucky, and it's always been that way, as far as sports. But I think this whole social media, and kudos to you by bringing sports to the forefront the way you have. Um, it's a lot more exposure to a lot more people in town, so they necessarily don't have to be at the games to experience the athletics. So I think it's fantastic. The kids from soccer games are the soccer players are at the football games, vice versa. So it's huge. This town's always been a big supporter of the athletics, especially the football program.
Yeah.
I mean, not to knock the other sports, but we're a big football town.
Yeah, absolutely.
Friday night lights under the lights is if you never experienced it as a player, I can't even describe what it feels like to come out on Friday night and play, Wesley High School football.
It's something special.
It certainly is.
It's something special.
And then to have the Turkey Day game is something that everybody who plays that game will have some kind of memory.
Yep.
And I mean, I can tell you the first snap of the game, what happened. You know what I mean? I can tell you the line calls that my line made because they changed the name of the line call, which I was confused because that wasn't one of our line calls. I mean, it's just very lucky, very lucky to be a part of this community, and to have the support that we do is just amazing.
I mean, how much football means to this community. 10,000 people watched the Thanksgiving Day game broadcast live.
Really?
Yeah, 10,000 people watched it live. And it was the numbers that I had never seen on our screen before.
Right.
It was so high, and we had people commenting from like nearly all 50 states
That's
and
awesome.
different countries,
Yeah.
and people sharing what year they graduated from
Mhm.
Westerly or Stonington
Mhm.
and their memories of the game, or their grandkid was playing, or their cousin was playing, or
Right.
something in this game, or they just they were so happy that they found it online and got to watch it because
Yeah.
they used to live here. And it was and yeah, like places in Europe,
That's great.
Australia, like crazy.
Yeah.
And so that was really cool, and we see that for the other sports as well.
Right.
Not to the numbers,
No. Right.
because
Well, it's
football has
Wesley's.
just been so ingrained.
Yeah. Right.
But the passion for everything.
Right.
And you see a lot of the kids too. And speaking of the camaraderie and stuff, right? Like the kids right now that are playing lacrosse in the spring, and baseball and softball and volleyball, are the kids that won a state championship in soccer earlier this year.
Absolutely.
And the kids that, some of the seniors that just finished 4-0 against Stonington on Thanksgiving Day.
Right.
Which, by the way, what was your record against Stonington when you played?
Yeah, we were 0-4.
Yeah.
So that's also
you and Buddha, right?
Yeah. Yeah. My son as well, because my son played with Buddha.
Okay.
So yeah, the whole Rios clan were 0-4, all of us, Actually, my nephew Junie, he won, I believe it was his senior year. So he broke the Rios curse, as I like to call it.
There we go.
But that would also made this year very memorable to me, because I never experienced winning Turkey Day.
Yeah.
And as a player.
Yeah.
Or as a father.
Right.
so for our kids to play the way they did and bring home the win was very special to me.
Yeah.
It made me feel really good. It made me feel what it's like to win this game. So
awesome.
So I love that.
Yeah.
And I went into the locker room after the game was over, and I was choked up, and I had to let them know that I thank them for giving me that.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit more, obviously, about the barbershop.
Yes.
Let's talk about your team, because you have when we went to shoot the commercial for you guys that airs every game and every show like this, and create some stuff for social media and stuff. You said specifically, I want, I've been here for 27 years.
Correct.
People know me. I get it. Like
correct.
I have a lot of not that everybody doesn't always want more customers and
Absolutely,
stuff, but
right.
You yourself as a person, great.
Right.
But you want everybody to know how great your team is, and they truly are. So tell me a little bit about your team.
Yeah, so I have two guys with me. Well, let me rephrase that. I have one girl and one guy with me. Erica McKinnon. She's been with me, I believe, around 8 years. 8 years or so, and she was a godsend. She's been awesome from day one. She's done a lot. She's grown tremendously as a barber. When she first started, there was things that she would not want to do, and it was not that she didn't know how to do it. It's just she wasn't wanting to push herself and be comfortable, being uncomfortable, I should say. So now, I mean, she's grown so much as a barber, and she's tremendous. She does any kind of cuts. She's bringing in clients that typically wouldn't be there for the longer haircuts, because she can cut long hair. So she's been fantastic, and no matter what I need, she's there for me. She brings me breakfast every morning. So I mean, she's fantastic. I love her. She's great with the clients, and the clients love her. Some clients that were mine are now just go to her, which is exactly what I wanted. I have enough clientele, and not that I would ever deny a new client, because I will always take new clients, but yes. So, I want them to prosper as well. So
Yeah.
I'm very happy with her growth as a barber and as a person. She used to kind of let people, step on her a little bit.
Yeah.
Not today. If you aggravate her, or if you you do something wrong, she will speak up.
Yeah.
She's not that quiet female that's in the barbershop no more, which is what I wanted out of her.
Right.
And I trust her. I trust her with the barbershop. I leave on vacation and I don't have to worry about anything. I know everything's going to be taken care of. And then Nick, aka Buddha.
Yep.
He's been with me for 5 years. I brought him in on as an apprentice. Him and my son are best of friends. And so he had told my son that he wanted to, do barbering. And then he first came in. He was there for a couple months and then he left, which I was kind of disappointed. And then he found out he was in the barbering school. So then I told my son, tell him to come back so I could talk to him. So he comes back and we discussed some things, and he left barbering school, which was what I wanted him to do, because you're never going to learn as good as you will doing hands-on.
Yeah.
And so he took on the apprenticeship. He went his whole 2 years, and he passed, and he's now a master barber. And he's phenomenal. He's a great barber already. He's great with the clients. Very patient. He's very, very good with attention to detail.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of that, because like I told him, I said, eventually, the pupil needs to pass the teacher. And eventually he's on his way. There's cuts that he does that I look at now and I say, wow, I know my 5th year into barbering, I was not doing that, so I'm proud of him. I've molded him, and he's taken what I've taught him and he's ran with it. And now he's probably one of the better barbers in this town right now. 5 years in, I can honestly and faithfully and have no problem saying that he's one of the better barbers in this town right now.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Shout out to Buddha.
Absolutely.
And Erica.
Absolutely.
They are an awesome team. So I have some questions for you from the Peanut Gallery.
Okay.
Yes, I think
sir.
you're a little bit aware of this.
Yes, sir.
All right. So when you have Carlos on today, here's a couple good questions to ask him. I'm reading these from my phone.
Okay.
What is the WWC all about? And what is your expertise on baseball stadiums?
Oh my goodness. Brent. All right. So WWC is actually, it's a solid core of guys. This is like 15 to 18 of us. Westerly Wrecking Crew. And yes, the name was created a long time ago. So it kind of looks funny for 47-year-old guys to say that, but we're not going to change it now.
Yeah.
That's our title, and we're going to keep that title. So we all pretty much, we all went to Westerly. We all graduated together, with the exception of 2, which is one we went to school at URI with, Ian Hockhauser, which fantastic, love the guy. And the other one is by marriage, because Georgie's wife's best friend is her husband is now part of the crew. Okay. So those 2 are transplanted, but we consider them Wesley guys. As a matter of fact, we had Ian as an honorary guest at our 25th high school reunion, and people were like, "Who is this guy?" And we were like, "Oh, this is so and so," and they're like, "We don't remember him." So it was pretty great. So yeah, no, it's just a solid group of guys, and we have an app that we constantly are talking every. You
have an app?
Yeah, like it's a group app that we all chat every day.
Like a Discord or
something.
Yeah,
it's a group me is the app. So we're on there. I mean, 100 messages a day. It's a solid group of guys that I don't think many people have friendships like that.
No.
No,
not at all.
And we get together once a year, and we're all over the country.
Right, yeah.
So then we got guys here in Wesley, but we got guys in New Jersey, Florida, North Carolina. So once a year we get together and we go to a different baseball park. And this is our 15th year, and it's our little reunion. We get together and for 4 days or so, and we visit the baseball park, and we realize that we're still idiots. We're just old idiots now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
however we were personality wise in high school, we're still the same
Right.
now.
Yeah.
You know, this might be a little slower. So, but yeah, as far as specialty in baseball parks, oh man,
What's your favorite baseball stadium that you've been to?
oh, Miami was absolutely phenomenal. San Diego was really nice too. Miami, just the area itself was amazing, and San Diego Stadium was like a city. It was incredible. You know, it was really nice over there. So
Now I know that you've on the New England, debate. You are not a Red Sox fan.
correct. I am
You
a
are
Yankees
you are
fan.
a Yankees fan.
Yes, sir.
What are your thoughts on new Yankee Stadium versus old Yankee Stadium?
I mean, I love it. You know, I think it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, can't take away from old Yankee Stadium, but that was, you can't comparing apples and oranges. You know,
Right.
it's a whole different new era. You know, the technology that's built into new Yankee Stadium is something to be said. You know, you look around the stadium and it's beautiful. You know, but I don't think it's fair to compare it to old Yankee Stadium. I think it's the old versus new. You know,
And your dislike for the Red Sox aside, what do you think of Fenway?
I hate Fenway.
Why?
I think Fenway needs to be blown up. And now you're probably this thing's probably going to go crazy.
That's fine. Yesterday on Jason Stevenson's show, I looked into the camera and said, "I don't care about anybody. I don't care about anybody but myself."
So, and Corey Jacobson, I don't know if he's on here. He's probably sleeping because he works third shift. But me and him battle all the time about it. I get the nostalgia of Fenway Park, and no disrespect to that. But today's, I don't know, it's just so tight. It's just old. The seating's very crampy in there.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's time for a new stadium for them. You know, it's time to move into the new era like the Yankees did.
Right.
You know, it's time to move on. But a lot
Yankee
of people,
Stadium was built. The field itself is very similar, right?
Oh yes, no, the field itself,
it's almost identical.
and even some of the structure around the stadium is identical.
Yeah.
It's just the technologies that they put within inside
Now,
the Yankee
honestly,
Stadium.
I mean, I personally I'm not like the biggest Red Sox fan by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
But like, I'm a big Red Sox fan, and I love the history and I love all of that stuff.
Right.
And I think that if you, took down, still that red seat that Ted Williams, the Ted
Right.
Williams seat, and
Right.
all of that stuff, put some of the stuff back in.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Take down the green monster.
Right.
Put the same exact green monster back in the new stadium.
But just
update the seats and
Yes.
stuff. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Like
Yes.
that's just
I mean,
anyway.
as people,
I'm with you. I'm with you.
We've become bigger as people, versus when that
I have
stadium
no
was built.
idea what you're talking about.
So, like, I'm not a big guy, big guy, but even when I'm sitting in those chairs in Fenway, it's not comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just my personal thing. I'm not a Red Sox guy. I don't care about the Red Sox. So
You haven't gone to the stadium yet this year, right? It's
to
coming
Yankee
up.
Stadium?
No, to
no.
to the stadium, the WWC trip.
No, we do that in August. So
Where are you going this year?
We're going.
I know the answer. But...
Yeah, we're going to Arlington. We're going to see the Texas Rangers this year.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Who are they playing?
Red Sox.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it was funny because when we were in St. Louis last year, we were in St. Louis for the baseball trip, and how we select the stadium is we all put our credit card in the hat. Who hasn't selected yet? We all put our credit cards in the hat, and the bartender picks the credit card. She doesn't tell us who it is, makes up around the shots. Whoever's credit card it is, you pay for the shots, but then you get the pick for next year.
Okay.
So then we get the hat back and we give everybody's card back. By the time we give everyone's card back, you know whose selection it is because their card isn't in the hat.
Right.
So it happened to be Corey. and Corey went crazy and spilling beer, throwing beer on everybody because it was his selection. And I had told him that the Red Sox would be playing Texas the week that that we would be going on our baseball trip. And he was like, "Oh, really?" So we don't make our selection for the trip to the stadium until Black Friday.
Okay.
We all get together again at Corey's house, and we have some drinks and stuff. And
because everybody's home for Thanksgiving.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's when we'll make our selection as to where we're going the following year. And so we all kind of already knew that Corey was going to pick Texas for the Red Sox. So I'm wearing my Yankees hat to Texas Stadium.
That's fine. That's fine. I am so jealous of this friendship group. Like you're talking about this, and I'm like, I have a bunch of friends from high school that like we were really tight in high school, and we did a bunch of stuff together immediately after, and like I'm still friendly with all of those people, but we don't have a like there's no group chat, there's no like this just sounds like it's incredibly cool. I love the bonding experience. That whole thing just truly, that sounds like it's really truly something special.
I mean, there's like, so I mean, as corny as this is too, we wear t-shirts all to the game, and it'll say WWC on the shirt, and it'll show all the stadiums that we've been to. It's identical shirts, bunch of grown men walking around with the same t-shirt on, like we're at Disney World. You know what I mean? And it gets people's attention.
I love it.
So right away people are like, well, what's WWC? And it's like, oh boy, all right, here we go.
We have another comment here from Antonella. I'm one of the friends too.
Antonella.
Deja vu.
Oh, she's the best. So Antonella, we graduated high school together. She was a sweetheart. Yeah. From day one when I met Antonella, she's an angel. She's a sweetheart. So
I actually met her in a salon.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I met her at Salon Sante in Wakefield. My best friend, his girlfriend at the time worked with Antonella,
right?
And so I've known her for almost 20 years now, 15 years.
Yeah.
Over 15. Yeah. So, yeah, she's the best.
Yeah, she is such a sweetheart.
She's the best. All right, we have a part two. We have a part two to this question.
Yes, sir.
And pardon my language, but I'm going to ask this exactly how it was asked.
Oh boy.
Ask him, what Westerly quarterback took the biggest ass whooping in Thanksgiving history?
Are you kidding me right now? That would be me. I can't even believe that I'm saying this on TV. I mean, on this podcast. Thanks, Brett. Yeah, that would be me. I actually I'm in the record books for the most sacks in Turkey Day.
Oh man!
I'll tell you a funny story to that too. So I'm tearing up over here over this. I was watching my son and my nephew play, and me and my brother were in the end zone in Stonington, and an older gentleman came over to us, and he looks at us. He says, "Rios Brothers," and me and my brother shook our head. Yes, that's us. I said, "Man, I haven't seen you guys on the football field together in a long time." And I said, "Yeah, I know. It's been a long time since we've been on the football field." So he's talking to my brother for a couple minutes, and then he looks at me and goes, You a quarterback, right?" And I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "Man, I've never seen someone take such an ass whooping." And I'm 70. He was like 78 years old or something like that in the whole history that I've been watching this game. And I said, "Thanks. I appreciate that, sir. You have a great Thanksgiving." So yeah, that would be me. And that's, I was bitter about that game. I didn't come back. I didn't come back to the Turkey Day game until my kids played.
Wow.
I refused. I want no part of it. I was just so angry. My senior year, just a lot of things went wrong, coaching wise, that I thought that, things could have been different. Yeah. And we had a solid team. We had a bunch of studs. But I felt like we changed our offense. We went to a totally different offense, and we had guys in the wrong positions. And it just didn't make us, it didn't allow us to be successful.
Right.
So I was very bitter after Turkey Day on my senior year. And
Yeah.
like I said, I didn't come back until my kids started playing. And I
I-
was forced to go back. So, but now I'm happy. I love it.
Right.
I'm happy to be back. I didn't realize how much I missed, football and everything until I walked on that field.
Man, that win as a coach this year must have.
Oh. It brought tears,
Yeah.
tears to my eyes. I mean, it was something special, and like I don't think the kids realize how much that meant to me, because they're fortunate. I mean, these guys have won 5 years in a row.
Yeah.
So like I feel bad for the guys from Stone, not really, but I feel bad because I know what it's like being in their shoes.
Right.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks. It's point blank. It sucks when you don't get to taste victory on Thanksgiving.
Right.
And at that age, that's life or death.
Yep.
You don't realize how minuscule, but not minuscule, because that game means everything to anyone that's played it.
Yep.
The game means everything to us. So
I graduated from Charahoe, which is funny now because I'm like the westerly guy. But,
I know.
I graduated from Charahoe, and I was on the team that made the playoffs for the first time ever.
Yeah.
In 2002.
Okay.
2002. And we lost in a playoff game to Classical on the it was like an ice bowl. It was we played at Central Falls with the ACI looking over us, and it was on a baseball field.
Right.
So it was dirt, and it was all ice, and it was like negative degrees out.
Yeah.
And the JV team was like walking up and down going like, guys, I kind of hope we lose so we don't have to do this again. Like,
right.
And I was still bitter about that game.
Right.
To the point that when Westerly played Classical this year on the basketball court,
right.
I was like, do not like Classical. Yeah. I do not like Classical. Yeah. And then what happened. Sorry, Brent. And
they had some studs on that team.
So. And then I was like, and then I was like, the reverse of it, I think, happened when the girls played the Classical team.
Yeah.
It was literally like I think it was Classical. It was like 90-45, and then the next one was 92-46 opposite.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like this.
Yeah.
We have another thing. This is a coach that wants to see his guys do well. Great coach.
Calvin. Yes, Calvin's a great guy.
Yeah.
I met Calvin this past year. I coach his son. His son's going to be a good talent. He's going to be a very good talent for us. He's going to be a good player. He's got it in him. So
one of the top vote getters in the
that's right
in that poll, freshman, yes. In the freshman poll, the top 3 ridiculously high.
Yeah,
everybody
I think
else,
those numbers were fudged.
Yeah, but the important thing is nobody else was even close outside of Westerly.
Right.
It was just
but those numbers were ridiculous. Super excited, and everyone's worried about Landon leaving. I hope Landon doesn't go anywhere. Landon is a special talent. He's a special kid. I thoroughly enjoy watching him play. And I told him he broke all my records in the first series of high school football, varsity football. I said, you broke all my records already, kid. So I mean, because we didn't throw the ball, we didn't do anything. So.
Were they your records though, or just
no?
Okay.
Just my own personal record.
That would have been cool.
No. I said the only one he doesn't want is my most sacks.
Most sacks.
You don't want that.
Yeah. No. Well, determination, grit, getting back up, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's all wonderful stuff. And Jay said definitely amazing coach.
I saw that. I think Jay Michaels. I appreciate him saying I was the best too.
Yep.
Jace is a good client of mine. And it's also I've known Jason since he was a young kid. I've been around a long time. So
Yeah.
we came here from Puerto Rico when we was really little. It was interesting growing up in Westerly, Rhode Island, being the only Puerto Rican family at the time. I don't even think half the people of Westerly even knew where Puerto Rico was when we came here. So, but it's the town has changed. Has changed. There's more of us around. So
Right.
which is great.
What does that mean to you? Because that is a it's so funny because you were the high school quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You're at least your senior year. I don't know how many years you were the starting quarterback,
Mm.
but you were the high school starting quarterback on this team, which
Mm.
is so important to the town.
Right.
You have been a successful business owner for 27 years.
Right.
You're a coach. You're an advocate of the town and the
Right.
people in it and the community. All of this stuff. You constantly hear about Westerly being a small town
Right.
that loves the people that grew up here.
Right.
And not that you didn't grow up here, because you did.
Right.
But what has your experience been like that? Like being embraced like that? And I only ask because you just brought it up. I didn't even know this.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have even thought about that. And
Right.
you're a part of the Westerly Wrecking Crew. And
Right.
you're you bleed Westerly blue.
Yes.
But you're not necessarily from here, right?
Correct.
Originally,
No, I mean
right?
you could say I'm an outsider that came in.
So what was
growing up here was interesting. It was difficult at first. Just my family spoke Spanish, and nobody out here was like that.
Yeah.
And it was tough in the beginning, and then when I got into athletics, Pee Wee football. I mean, me and my brother, we started dominating right away. Scoring 4 or 5 touchdowns a game, and so now, you develop friendships with these kids on the football field, and then you become friends outside of football, and you meet their parents, and you start sleeping over, and so a lot of parents that I had friends that I was friends with, their kids through athletics, they just took me right in. The Fazaro family, I can't speak. My words can't even describe. How wonderful they were to me.
Yeah.
They're amazing. To this day, they're still amazing people. I can see them in Walmart or anywhere, and we stop and we chat, and so it was nice to have those families. The Lambs were great people. They took me in as well. So it was growing up in this town was a good thing for me, because it made me handle a lot of things that I've went through, and be able to keep pushing forward and not quitting. And sometimes I hear today these kids will, that are minorities, or however you want to call them, or however you want to say it, I should say, they'll well, it's because of this, and it's like, don't think that way, because that's being put in your head, and that's not how this town is. This town is a great town. And if you're a good person and you work hard, and you do the right thing, then nobody cares about any of that stuff, and I'm one of those people. I'm proof. It's proof. And it's funny because I had also, when I was 19 years old, I had an Italian guy come in the shop and told me, "Oh, Puerto Rican barbershop in Italian town, you'll never make it." And here we are, probably one of the best, busiest barbershops in town.
Yeah.
So, but that's all those things made me be who I am. So I don't wish for none of that to occur, to have happened, and I appreciate all the things that have happened. So I love this town. You know, this is my town. This is my hometown. You know, this is where this is why I bleed blue. You know, so I'm very lucky.
I love that. Thank you for being so open and honest and vulnerable with us
Oh,
today. Like
absolutely.
this has been incredible. Um, you talked about by the way, 27 years,
Yeah,
right? So can a Puerto Rican barbershop exist in a predominantly Italian town? It sure can.
sure can.
It sure
Absolutely.
can. It can thrive here.
And I think
Yeah,
any ethnicity can. It's not about that. It's
yeah,
about the hard work and how you treat people. You know,
yep,
and I like to make people happy. You know, I thoroughly enjoy giving a hair. I mean, when you were in your chair and when you were in the chair for the first time and I was cutting your hair and I was not even halfway done, and you were like, "Man, this looks amazing already."
yeah,
You know, like I love hearing those things. That makes me feel good. So, I mean, I love what I do. You know,
yeah,
so it's great.
absolutely. Um, the other thing that you talked about at the beginning was the older gentleman who told you do it now. If you have the ability
Yes,
to do it now.
yes,
And one of the things that you always hear about barbershops and hairdressers is therapists, right?
yeah.
Like the
Oh yeah.
original, the OG
Oh
therapists.
yes.
Um, it's kind of, I say thank you for being vulnerable and thank you for being all of that stuff, but
Right.
like 60% of your job is conversation.
Correct.
Like if people don't feel at home in that barbershop, they're not going to be there.
100%.
And what has that meant to you over the years?
You know that.
Because you really build relationships with the people that are in your chair.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I'm. You know, one of the toughest things that I've learned from barbering is I've developed, you know, significant relationships with certain, you know, with a lot of my clients, and you know, they get old, obviously, and sometimes they pass, and when they do pass, I should say, um, you know, the families don't let me know, you know, and it's like it breaks my heart because they don't realize the relationship that I had with this individual, you know.
Yeah.
So as far as you know, I tell people cutting hair, 20% is the haircut. You know, 20% is the haircut. It really is. The rest is listening and you know, caring and developing relationships with people and watching them grow because they're watching you grow as well. You know, I mean, like I said, I started when I was 19, and you know, these people been with me since I was 19 till now, and I got gray hair now. You know, like they seen me grow, and I've watched them grow, and I'm cutting kids of who were kids when I started cutting, and I love all of that. You know, it's my shop is a big extended family. You know, like I love all my clients. You know, and if you're in my chair and if you talk, because you get guys that just come in and
Yeah.
they just want to get a haircut. They
Yep.
want it to be peaceful, and you get that vibe.
Yep.
And that's another good, you know, thing that a good barber needs to realize is like, okay, this guy doesn't want to talk, so just let him be, you know, and enjoy his time. Um, so you know, I enjoy all of that, and I also give, you know, advice to people that sometimes I listen to myself and I said, well, why don't I take that that advice myself? You know,
Same.
but you know, I again, it all comes down. I love, you know, I love what I do, you know,
Yeah.
and I love my clients. They're all great, you know, and if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be successful. You know, barbershop's not a barbershop without clients. So I'm very lucky. I'm very fortunate, and I'm blessed. So that's it, you know. And I told you, I'm open game for whatever you wanted, Ben. You know,
I love it.
you know,
I love it.
real content. You know,
Absolutely.
so
Best barber in town sitting here across from me, putting his heart out on his sleeve for us. Been here for 27 years and here to teach the new generation also of barbers in town, and also student athletes now as a coach on the football team. Just a terrific individual. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for being a friend.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being a sponsor
Yes.
of 321 Westerly's high school sports coverage. And thank you for having the humility to open up about Brent's questions about the baseball stadiums and about your unfortunate Thanksgiving Day many years ago. But you know, it's really been a pleasure to get to know you. And I do want to say we're going to end with Carlos's commercial. However, he corrected me. This commercial has been running for months, and we misspelled it. And now that I have all of this context, I'm horrified that we misspelled it.
That's okay.
But yeah, do you want to explain what our mess up is?
All right. So, and it's not just you. It's again, this is a predominantly Italian town, so everybody's name ends in a vowel. So, you know, when they see Rios, they think that's what is it? You're adding you know what I'm saying, try to say it in the English, whatever. So they think it's Rio with the apostrophe S.
Right.
And figuring I'm Italian, and it's like, no. It's Rios with the apostrophe after the S. So that's why I had to correct you on that. It's the same when people will say Carlo. And it's like, no. My name is Carlos. Let's get it correct. You know, I'm just as proud of my Puerto Rican heritage as you are as of your Italian heritage. So
you absolutely
know, so that's that. I just, you know, that's just always how I've been.
And to be fair, I am as English as the day is long. I mean, there is no, I'm as white as mayonnaise. So, but yeah, that's we'll get that fixed. But for now, you're gonna get the version with the mistake in it.
That's
so
it.
Carlos, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Likewise.
You're incredible, and you even let me wear my Red Sox hat into the place. And I didn't bring it with me. You gave me a beanie, Rios beanie, and my girlfriend has stolen it from me. So it's hers now.
That's okay.
Which she really likes it. And
very good.
It's very comfortable. So she wears it around the house a lot.
That's great.
But
it's been a pleasure. I really thank you for having me on too.
Thank you so much. So go to Rios. Walk-ins always welcome.
Absolutely.
They will accommodate you. You can give them a call. All of that information is in the ad that you're going to see at the end of this video. And go see Carlos, but also make sure you go see Erica and Buddha.
Yes.
Because Nick and Erica are fantastic, and it's about the team. It's about the whole team at Rios, not just Carlos. So
absolutely.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, everybody. And I'm just stalling for a second while I move my computer to get to the ad. That's it for today. Bye for now.
Are you looking for a fresh cut in Westerly? Step into Rios Barber Shop in Granite Plaza. Whether it's a classic trim or a trendy new look, we've got you covered. Experience the perfect cut for every age and style in a friendly and relaxed atmosphere. At Rios, it's not just a haircut, it's an experience. Visit Rios Barber Shop in the Granite Plaza in Westerly, or give us a call to schedule your appointment at 401-315-2208. Your style, our craft, Rios Barber Shop.